Welcome back to day three of IFMA's FM Tech Week. We're on our second session today, continuing the theme of artificial intelligence in FM. Now, let's turn our attention to today's session, Facilities Forward, how AI and tech are changing the game. And I'd love to introduce David. Oh, okay. So David is a well-known keynote speaker, podcast host, author, and thought leader. I thoroughly recommend you download Facility Voices or you subscribe to it either on Apple or your favorite podcast app. Presenter at numerous conferences, advisory member for Facilathon, and importantly, a member of the Education Program Committee for our very own IFMA World Workplace. And is a maintenance team advisor on productivity tools, risk mitigation, and succession planning. And in addition, has spoken at ASHI, APA, and NFMT. It's quite a mouthful there. And is a incredible advocate for engaging various technology solutions to drive our industry forward. So, David, over to you. Looking forward to a great presentation.
Thank you so much, Ed, and thank you everybody for joining me today. And this is such a great opportunity for the whole FM community to participate in. And what we're going to talk about here is really the facilities management revolution. Big changes are happening, and they're happening so rapidly, but also how predictive maintenance strategies help orgs transition from that reactive approach to that break fix approach to proactive. And also why operating buildings will continue to require more sophisticated skill sets for your team. And then how technology and AI are helping better predict long-term planning needs. And then also following up on that is the strategies for long-term success. And let's jump right in. So let's start out by talking about just how AI, how technology has changed in our daily lives and how we consume that digital information. Well, I mean, these are just some of the things that we use every day. Okay, I'm in these programs all the time. I'm on LinkedIn as well. I'm always in here trying to find out what's the greatest, latest, and greatest things that are happening in our industry and communicating with people. But we also went quickly from the old days of meetings behind a desk, everybody's dressed up, to this. I'm in a coffee shop, I'm out in a park, and I'm using a virtual background like I am right now, and accessing information, but also communicating with my teams. Okay. I jokingly say this, but it's really true. I haven't reported to an office in 8 years. Okay. Everything I do is either in person or over Zoom. Pardon me. But the challenge is, again, you lose some of that connection, but at the same time, you can communicate quicker with your teams. The other thing is, in facilities management revolution is it's changing and it's undergoing this profound transformation, and it's evolving with the technologies that are changing so quickly. But personal technology has been changing for years, but the way the industry is leveraging this data, leveraging AI to make more predictive maintenance decisions is going to help efficiency across the board. It's also going to help reduce some of those costs, but really overall elevate that experience for your teams and also the people who visit your sites. So this is the stigma that I think has been out there for forever is AI is going to take my job. AI is not going to take your job. AI is not going to climb up on that roof, and for your mechanics, it's not going to replace those air handlers. It's not going to replace those belts. But you know what? It's going to give you a heads up when something's going sideways. That's how I see that AI is really going to change. It's sensors. It's going to change our industry by giving you a heads up when stuff is not flowing exactly the way it's supposed to go. And it's also going to give you a heads up when things are, hopefully before things start to go sideways. But again, it's not Terminator. Okay, I was at Planet Hollywood in Orlando, and I saw this, and right before this session, a few weeks ago, and I laughed when I saw this because I think a lot of people see AI or think of AI like that. It's going to take over the world. It's going to take over my job. We're not there. Okay, it's not going to happen. It's not going to climb up on that roof and fix that thing. It's not going to go into the mechanical room, but it's going to help you realize when things are not functioning correctly, things are dying, machines are end of life. It's going to give you some of that heads up so you can start that better planning process. But what it really comes down to is user adoption. So again, it's not going to replace the filters. It's not going to change the bearing, swap out motors. But what it's going to do is give you that heads up when things are happening. But if you look at these people that are in these photos, I took these photos, right? What's in their hands? It's a phone. It's a tablet. They're using technologies in the field that include AI today. So how do you break down that barrier? Is you put tools in their hands. You help them recognize that, listen, this is a tool. This is in my toolbox. This is in my tool belt. This is on my cart. Okay. This is another tool for me to be able to do my job. And I kind of use this example a lot. Okay. And it's very simple. Wouldn't you like to know the filter size or the belt size you need before you climb up that ladder, pop that roof hatch, and go out there and try and dig and figure out what it was, what you need, right? Because right now, most people have to climb up that ladder, pop the roof hatch, go out there. Oh, shoot, it's this belt. Well, that belt's so worn, I can't even see what it is. Now I got to go back down, go jump on my cart, run back to the shop, try and figure out what it is. Okay. Now I know exactly what it is I need before I even go up there. And I can document anything that changes along the way. That's what AI is going to be able to do. AI is going to be able to give you those heads up. This is what you need before you even go up there. But don't be fooled. The older guys and gals on your team are also using technology. They've got a smartphone in their pocket just like everybody else, right? They know how to play Angry Birds. They know how to play all these games. But technology has to be easy or they're not going to use it, right? Even your guys and gals on your team that are the younger generation, if it's not easy, they get frustrated and they stop using it. So technologies that you look at using that incorporate AI and machine learning need to be easy. Okay. Remember that they have to be easy. You don't want to add more frustration or add more work to your team. But some of the key drivers for that FM revolution is predictive analytics. Again, moving from that reactive to proactive, smart building technologies. A lot of new buildings are coming online that are including a lot of these new smart technologies, but there's still a mix of old and new on multiple sites. You've got old buildings, new buildings, or you're migrating new stuff into old buildings. So, but the newer ones are incorporating those smart building technologies. But there's a digital transformation happening too. People are going paperless. They're going everything paperless. Get rid of the paper. If you get nothing out of this, get rid of all your paper. Okay. Paper is a barrier for you and your teams, but also workforce evolution. We're seeing generational changes and shifts in teams. Teams are, the younger generation was born with a smartphone in their hand, right? But it's also AI is going to help with sustainability and compliance moving forward. But again, some of those predictive maintenance wins are it's going to help reduce some of that downtime. It's going to give you heads up when things are going sideways. It's going to help you reduce some potential costs. Gives you a heads up that something's not right with this machine. Something's not right with this system that you're running. And maybe you could head off some of that stuff because it can be a chain reaction when things do break down. But also it's going to help improve efficiency. Give your team more time back. Remember that example I was just talking about, guys and gals going up and down the ladder, popping the roof hatch, going out there, or they jump in their golf cart and go across campus, back and forth, back and forth. Time is not our friend in facilities, right? They never have enough time. So give them some of that time back, and AI tools will do that. It's going to give them a heads up what they need, where they need to go, and be able to make some of those more informed decisions before they even jump in that cart or run over there. So adapting to that fast-paced change in facilities is a must. You got to embrace this. This isn't going away, right? So figure out how AI tools can help your team. And it's not an all-in approach all the time, okay? You can dip your toe in the water and move forward, but adapt to what's changing, because there may be some things that will give your team some of that time back. And time, again, is our precious commodity in facilities. But old buildings and old ways of managing them, it can be some challenges with that. 65% of buildings still store documents in paper. Think about, I've got a plan room. Think about, I've got shelves full of binders. I've got inspection stuff. I've got all this paper blizzard all over the place. It can be a mess trying to track stuff down to do their job. Well, nearly 1 in 3 buildings in the US is over 50 years old. Well, over 50 years old, a lot of stuff's changed, okay? But also approximately 70% of buildings in the US are over 20 years old. A lot of old buildings, a lot of new buildings, it's a mixed bag of stuff, a mixed bag of different kinds of buildings, different infrastructure within those buildings, outside those buildings, and also equipment types. I was talking to somebody the other day that was saying, I've got a lot of analog old equipment in my building. The same building, I just added 2 new wings that are all brand new. It's a mix of old and new. And when you challenges with that is when you bring in new technicians and they have no idea how to function and operate that old stuff. So again, it's a mix of old and new. It can create some challenges. So this is a challenge that I see all the time. It's pile after pile, room after room of drawing sets. Well, each one of these drawing sets represents a change to your building. Okay, all those individual little sheets are a change to your building. Maybe you moved a wall, maybe you renovated a building, maybe you renovated a floor, okay, or you added a wing. All of those changes are represented in a lot of organizations, especially older buildings. I see a lot of paper, okay. New stuff, though, you get digital. In most cases, you get a thumb drive, or they'll give you a link to download stuff. The challenge is, if you've got stuff in paper, this is a real story. Okay, sprinkler head burst in a plan room, destroyed all these old Mylars, all these old blue lines that they had, old blueprints that they had from way back when, all those old shop drawings that they had from the guys that have long since retired. They were lost. They're gone, right? And then the rest of them, they were able to digitize and get in. But again, it's a mess. Decades and decades of institutional knowledge that's in a drawing, in a paper drawing, was gone. And it happened in seconds. That's what I hear, those types of horror stories all the time. The challenge is there's a better way. You can get all that stuff digital so your team can access it on the roof, in those mechanical rooms, live, on the thing that's in every one of their pockets, on their phone. Every one of them can. But scanning the stuff isn't any good if you still can't find stuff. I see this all the time where, oh yeah, we scanned all of our stuff in and we went back to paper because we can't find any of the stuff we scanned. Somebody dumped it on a share drive, or it got deleted by accident, or name your challenge with that. But again, if it's only as good as if your team can find it. All right. And again, do they have to go back to a desktop computer and find it, or can they find it on their phone on a roof? So again, just scanning stuff in isn't enough. It's a photo, okay? But this is where we're going. This is what's happening today. So imagine all those drawings. I went from going into a plan room or going to a share drive and sitting at a desktop computer and trying to remember what the heck my password was, to no, I'm in the field, I'm on my phone, I'm on my tablet, and I can see every single plan set, all of them organized, all of them mapped out, showing where every renovation touched. So think about all the plans that were in that plan room. All of them are here. And I can see, a matter of fact, every renovation is all color coded and shows me exactly where that was by date, what the project was, full MEP, complete sets. This is your blueprint for your entire building, but it's not just for today. It's all the historical things that have ever happened, floor to floor, building to building, all in one spot. That's what you can do today with AI, and also have access to that information live. wherever the heck you are. Design construction teams, facilities teams, and any other departments have access to all the information they need to do their job. Gives them time back. The other challenge is the more changes that happen to your building, it just means more stuff changed in the building. So renovations oftentimes means stuff moved, equipment moves, shutoffs move, right? Things are serving different areas that they weren't serving before, or we installed a new valve. All right. All of that information is all organized in one spot and everybody can access it. So we go from desk bound to mobile. That is the new way of working in FM. Everybody is in the field. They're able to access what the heck they need, just another tool in their toolbox that they can access all the stuff they need to do their job very fast. So the old way for searching and finding stuff was this: climbing up a ladder, popping the ceiling tiles, remembering, oh, you know what? It's not this one, it's this one. Oh, you know what? This tile's underneath the pan. No, that's the way a lot of folks did it. Okay. And they're still doing it today. But easy access, not so much. Just for reference, that's me on that ladder. All right. Trying to figure out where's that fan coil unit that's up in the ceiling grid. Well, I pop that tile. I'm standing. If you notice, there's a ladder to get on a desk to put another ladder on the desk. That's what the facilities team had to do in this lab at this school. That's what they're having to do today. So how much time is wasted trying to figure out which ceiling tile they had to pop in the first place? Nothing's marked. Or there's this. Where's FCU 3? Well, it's look for the stains in the ceiling grid. That's not an effective strategy. Documenting where every unit is and having access to that, this is no better. A blue dot, red dot, well, what does that serve? Where's it coming from? Is that hot water supply return, chill water supply return? What is that? It's just a blue dot. I missed these blue dots when I was walking through this room. One of the guys who told me that, he goes, oh yeah, there's one in that room. He knew exactly what tile to pop to. He'd been there for 36 years. The new guy didn't know where any of that stuff was. He didn't even know they had dots on the grid. That's how fast you can lose track of what's where in your building. But that guy who's been there for 36 years, okay, think about this. He just retired. He's one of 3 that just retired. So that's a lot of institutional knowledge walking out the door. And like I said, the new guy who was also walking with us had no idea those dots even existed. You got to get the information out of their heads, and so that everybody can access that. But also 20 to 40% of assets in the field have been replaced, decommissioned, moved, or they're new. How are you documenting those? Where is that stuff? Does the new guy know where everything is? Well, why not? They should have access to where everything is their first day. And it's really easy to do that. And AI and technology helps them do that. It's documenting what's where and everything real time. And any changes that happen, you document it in the field on their phone, live. Hit save, everybody sees it, real time. So if they're still hunting and digging and wasting that time, the challenge is frustration. I'm frustrated trying to figure out where stuff is, what stuff is. My phone's ringing off the hook from my contractors, my team. It literally is a frustration factor. But providing tools eliminates that. Well, look how fast that's changed. We went from digging through paper, popping ceiling tiles like crazy, trying to figure out where it is, to now I'm documenting where everything is, make, model, serial number, what floor is it on, what tiles do I pop, okay? What equipment do I need? What are some of the supplies I need? What filters, what belts, all that stuff documented live, real time while I'm standing in front of the unit. I change the unit, I document what I changed live, hit save, everybody sees it. It's tools that are a move forward tool that your team can update live in the field, and now everybody's on the same page. Here's another real story, right? Electrical goes out in an OR. This is third shift. It's always the new guy who's on third shift in a hospital, right? He's been on the job for 4 days. The charge nurse, they're getting ready in the OR, calls the 800 number that they have, or the 855 number that they actually had for their night guys. He answers the phone, been on the job for 4 days. All he asked her was, Power's out on what wall? Is there an outlet there? Yeah, it's panel 1NLB. He opens up his phone, he opens up his tablet, types in 1NLB. It shows him exactly what room it is in, goes right there. He's been on the job for 4 days. He doesn't know where all the bathrooms are, but he knows where that panel is because he can search and find that panel over the phone and walks right to that room, gets the power back online. They don't have to cancel any surgeries, okay, which is a big deal in healthcare. That's the guy who's brand new. Every person on your team should be able to do that. Technology allows you to do that. Everybody knows where everything is live day one. So the evolving skill set of facilities teams are smart building systems, okay? Buildings are getting smarter. The digital transformation using AI, IoT, cloud-based platforms, got to jump on board with this if you're not already, but also balancing the new and the old. Also that workforce shift, having that the silver tsunamis impacting everybody. The challenge is it's not slowing down. People are still leaving. The challenge is backfilling those roles and closing that skills gap. Technology is going to help you do that. Also, it's going to help you with regulatory and sustainability demands. You're going to be able to keep up with compliance standards and also those safety and energy standards that are important to your organization live, have real updates. Also, emergency preparedness, you can respond faster when you know where all those shutoffs are, gas, water, power, med gas. You also know where all the equipment is. All of these things documented are going to help your team be able to react faster and smarter. They're going to be able to go straight to where they need to go and track down that thing that they need to address right now. Faster, it don't work harder, work smarter. Faster response is a big, big deal. Okay. AI for field teams is really going to help transform the team. They're going to be able to find all the stuff and help potentially reduce some of those downtimes and again give you that predictive heads up when things are going sideways. And it also could do some of this stuff down the road here too. It's going to say, hey, you know what, you're going up there to work on that work order for that unit. You know what, you're coming up for a PM on that unit. Or you know what, did you know that unit also uses a filter 1 2 3 4 5? Or you know what, there was a recall on that unit. That's the things that AI is going to do, start searching the web and making some of those ideas come to light where, you know what, man, I sure wish I knew that, in next week a PM's due on this thing, or next month a PM's due on that. I can kill two birds with one stone by just doing that. All right. That's what AI is going to be able to scour the web, scour different workflows that you've done in the past. And it's going to start to read some of that stuff and find some of those trends. But it's also going to give you some potential heads up down the road of what those things could be that will make your life a lot easier. So how is technology and AI going to enhance long-term planning? Data-driven decision. Data is king. All right. AI is going to analyze some of that historical stuff and help you make some of those predictive things, give you a heads up, and it'll help you with some of that resource allocation. Also, proactive capital planning. It's going to give you some heads up and give you that entire historical record of everything that's ever happened on your buildings so that you can actually make some of those priority investments that you need and help you forecast for the future, 5, 10 years and beyond. Also, help you optimize your workforce management. It's going to identify some of those labor demands and skills gaps. And it's going to be able to identify, hey, you know what, maybe because it's taking this technician longer than this other technician, maybe they just don't know how to use that. They haven't got that training to update that system or to maintain that system. It's going to give you some heads up on that, not to point fingers at people. I look at those as training opportunities to help your team get better, right? Also, energy and cost efficiency. It's going to help you really look at your energy consumption and also some of those operational expenses. The biggest one on this list, in my opinion, is improved risk assessment. It's going to give you a heads up and help you understand, listen, there's some potential risks here for failures. It's going to maybe some safety risks, but again, help you address those things and give you more of a heads up that things are not working out so well, or they're not going great on this thing. red flags going up, fireworks, that something's going on. Instead of my team just having to constantly keep an eye on it, AI and machine learning is going to help to predict some of those things that could get you and your teams in trouble. So again, impacts on emergency responsiveness is business continuity, keeping your buildings up and running, help eliminate some of those potential losses and minimize some of those losses. I look at water. What longer water runs in a building, more money it costs. It's like a gas pump, right? You want to minimize that lost revenue for having to shut down an OR, having to displace people, having to whatever the scenario is for you, plug and play here, lose revenue. Manufacturing, it's a big deal too. Every minute they know they've got it calculated. Every minute they're down costs them X amount of dollars. Then there's a big one, health and safety. Okay, health and safety for not only your team, but also visitors to your sites. Access to building and equipment information real time is going to help them to better respond. Also, displacement of building occupants, staff, and visitors. So emergency information should be at your fingertips. Here's what that looks like. So fire up on a roof of a school, K through 12, right? The fire department rolls up, buildings or roofs on fire with this unit. They call the on-call number. The district technician rolls up. She's been on the job for 2 weeks. 2 weeks, right? He says, I need to find the power. We can't just put water on this thing. It's electrified. She goes, okay, here. It's in this room right here. And you just go in there. It's this breaker. Here's a photo of it. Goes in there, kills the breaker, kills the power. That's how fast you can access information in a building real time. And again, share that information out with those first responders that are supposed to be responding and helping you. So strategies for long-term success, resource allocation. It's going to help you to really identify where your money is best spent. Also help you make some of those strategic decisions, be able to understand what are the priorities within my organization so I can shift those resources around. Also, sustainability. It's going to help you to get a better understanding of energy consumption, follow those patterns that are going to be helping your organization long term, and also minimize that risk within your organization. That's a big deal. When you're trying to minimize things dropping, minimize the challenges of institutional knowledge walking out that door, capturing all that data, capturing all that information so everybody on your team, including leadership, is on the same page. That's a big deal. So I think we got time for a question or two. Ed.
Okay, wonderful. Thanks, David. So we do have one question from the audience. We have an anonymous questioner. How would you approach? How would you approach formatting hard copies during digitization?
Yeah, when you organize, I can only speak for our organization. We have a footprint nationwide. We have about 140 offices. When you scan that information in, you have to think of it from the standpoint of it's garbage in, garbage out. So if you just scan it in, it's not named properly, it's not organized properly, then what good is it? If I drop a bunch of raw scans into a folder, that's no different than paper. And what I oftentimes see is people revert back to paper because they can't find anything in the digital stuff. Make sure it's organized by date of the project, name of the project. But our system actually, it's OCR'd. All the large format drawings are actually, we have patents that our system scans and organizes, but then it also OCRs all those large format drawings. So now they're all text-based searchable as well.
Okay, great. Thank you. And I think we'll do just one last question,
Great.
which I think we've got Jeff Anderson is asking, how do you differentiate IoT or Internet of Things from AI?
I think from it really comes down to the tools that you're using. So IoT and AI, I look at it very much so as it's intertwined in getting information and ways that you can IoT devices are sharing information, sharing data with you. AI is more, I look at it more so as a search and functionality and also patterns. IoT is going to help with some of that too. But again, it's all about patterns. I think that's the easiest way I can explain it. The way I understand it is that it's a search functionality. It's also providing different data sets that can help you and your team.
Great, thank you, David. And
Thank you.
I would just say to Jeff, um, if you had an opportunity, or if you saw the previous session on Ask Your Building a Question, uh, that had some good answers in it, and that one as well as this one will be up on the YouTube channel in fairly short order. So it just leaves it to me to thank David again, and to thank all of you for taking time out of your busy days to come along and join us for FM Tech Week. Thank you very much, everybody. See you soon.